And so the only way to serve that customer is develop a product that is truly scalable, truly unlimited scale, and that is when you serve the people who have small ticket things. Let me give you more context on the thinking process. I think it's a higher, you maximize the likelihood of you making more money. If you are a service provider to go up market and sell to people who have more money, and then eventually you can create a business that can retain customers that has almost zero incremental cost of adding an additional customer. And then in that instance, you absolutely can sell to the masses. Amazon sells to the masses, right? I'm not saying Amazon is a bad business. It's exceptional business, right? But they also had to raise $680 billion of capital in order to build it. And so what happens is entrepreneurs who are undercapitalized and underskilled think, okay, I'll just serve to the masses with this thing, but I don't have the capital and I don't have the skill in order to actually scale it. That's the issue. And so for the vast majority of quote unscalable businesses or less scalable businesses that require humans, that's where I prefer to say, okay, well, if you're gonna do the same work, you might as well get paid 10 times as much. Great, because there is an audience of people that would pay you 10 times more because they just don't know you exist. The reason that it's so tough to service the bottom end of the market is that for them, the small amount of money is a huge percentage of their income or their savings. And so they will have the expectations of someone who gives you their life savings. And so there's almost nothing that can satisfy.
Right.
And so you will drain your reputation and you will drain the morale of your team because there will never be something that is enough. And also those tend to be the types of people who want you to promise everything in order to get your $10, right? And I prefer not to live my life that way. I prefer to say I would prefer to set my expectations at 0 and then you have to be pleasantly surprised rather than promise the world and never be able to fulfill. Now, the next sales concept I want to talk about is one of the most common mistakes I see entrepreneurs make. So fundamentally, they don't have an issue with how they're selling it or what they're selling, but actually it's when they're selling it. Because the right offer at the wrong time is still the wrong offer. And so this is why sales timing is so important. So let me explain on this a bit more. You want to make sure that we sell at the point of greatest deprivation, not the point of greatest value. And so this is one of the big mistakes that people make when they're trying to sell stuff is they actually sell at the wrong time. And so I'll give you an example. So if we go to a restaurant, you order a steak, you have an amazing steak, and I say, awesome, how was it? You say it was great. I say, awesome, would you like another steak? And you're like, no, I'm good. And I'm like, why? Wasn't the steak good? And you're like, yeah, it was great. And I'm like, then why don't you want another steak? And you're like, because I'm good. And I'm like, so you didn't like the steak? And you're like, no, I loved the fucking steak, dude. Like, back off, right? And that's because like the offer's right, the timing's wrong. And so if I wanted to sell 2 steaks, what I would do is say, hey, sir, how's it going? You say, great. I'm like, how hungry are you? You're like, dude, I'm fucking starving. And I'm like, guy like you're gonna need 2 steaks. That's when you sell 2 steaks.
Yeah.
Before you've had your first bite, before you're full, when you're at point of greatest deprivation. Where people get confused is they're like, hey, people got a lot of value, that's when I want to sell.